today we're pulling back the curtain on the invisible machinery that's running modern business. It's all about automation. And based on a deep dive into the tools that thousands of companies are using every single day, we're going to uncover how the world of digital work is actually splitting in two, and what that means for the future of your job.
But first, just think about it for a second. How much of your day is really just digital paperwork? You know, moving information from one app to another. You're copying a new lead from a form into your CRM. You're updating a spreadsheet. You're sending a quick notification over to Slack. I mean, this is the reality of being drowned in apps, and it's created this mountain of manual work just to keep everything talking to each other. So, to solve this mess, two very different worlds of automation have popped up. The first one, think of it like a train on a track. It's super reliable, it's predictable, and it follows a set path perfectly, every single time. That's the world of traditional automation. But the second world, that's more like a self-driving car. You don't give it step-by-step directions, nope. You just give it a destination, and it figures out the best way to get there. And that is the world of AI agents. Okay, so first, let's explore that train on the track, the deterministic world. These things are the absolute workhorses of the automation economy. They are the bedrock of how businesses operate today. We call them integration platform as a service, or, iPaaS for short. Now, the logic here is actually incredibly simple, but man, is it powerful. It's all built on if this, then that. If a new entry comes in from a web form, then create a new row in a spreadsheet. If a sale gets marked as closed in your CRM, then automatically send a notification to the finance channel in Slack. It's this simple, deterministic model that solves that huge problem of all our apps living in their own little silos. So, what's the single most important workflow that these platforms automate? I mean, across pretty much every industry. It's lead lifecycle management. This is, by a long shot, the #1 use case. And why? Well, because it solves the most critical, time-sensitive problem in any business. Getting information about a potential customer from where you find them, like, say, social media, into the hands of your sales team who live inside a CRM as fast as humanly possible. Speed is everything here. And this just shows it perfectly. If you look at the most popular templates on a platform like Zapier, year after year, the top one is getting Facebook leads into a Google Sheet. It just completely eliminates that slow, annoying, manual process of downloading a CSV file. Some of the other popular ones, they solve those simple but constant annoyances, like automatically adding a Zoom link to a new calendar invite. And hey, notice that last one, the AI-powered email drafter? It stops at creating a draft. It doesn't send it. We'll definitely come back to that idea. Now, when you get to larger companies, the focus shifts a little bit to another super critical area, managing people. Employee lifecycle management is really considered the crown jewel of enterprise automation. And this isn't just a simple two-step connection. We're talking about a complex, multi-stage process that is absolutely essential for security and for compliance. So let's break down this joiner, mover, leaver process. When a new person joins, one single entry in the HR system can automatically kick off the creation of their IT accounts, add them to the right Slack channels, and even set up their payroll. Pretty cool, right? Then, if they get a promotion, their permissions get updated instantly. And here's the most critical part. When they leave, this automated workflow acts like a kill switch, instantly revoking access to everything. That is how you secure company data. Okay, so that was world #1. Now let's talk about our second world, the self-driving car. We're now entering the probabilistic world of AI agents. And here, we're not just connecting apps anymore. We are literally creating digital workers to automate entire processes from start to finish. The shift here is so important to understand. It's a totally different way of thinking. You see, iPaaS is fantastic at automating tasks. It does exactly what you tell it to do. But an AI agent, it's designed to automate entire processes. You give it a high-level goal, and it has to figure out all the steps to get there, adapting as it goes. And this new approach, which is being pioneered by platforms like CrewAI, is to model the whole thing after a human team. So instead of programming this linear set of steps, you assemble a crew. You literally create digital employees. You give them a job title, a specific goal, and a task. Your job goes from being a workflow builder to being a manager of digital talent. Okay, so check this out. Here's an AI marketing crew in action. You might have a researcher agent that's just constantly scanning the internet for trending topics in your industry. It passes what it finds to a strategist agent, which decides on a specific angle for a blog post. That brief then goes to a copywriter agent to draft the article. And finally, an editor agent reviews the whole thing for grammar and brand voice before it's finished. Each agent has one job, and they all work together to achieve a really complex goal that a single, simple automation just couldn't handle. So we've got these two very different worlds, right? The train and the self-driving car. To help make sense of it all, we can use a pretty simple framework that lets us categorize any automation you'll ever see into one of 5 tribes. So yeah, we can group any workflow into one of 5 tribes. We've got synchronizers, orchestrators, synthesizers, specialists, and concierge. All right, let's break down what each one actually does. First up, the synchronizers. This is the most common tribe by far. This is that simple point-to-point data movement we were talking about earlier. You know, that classic Facebook lead to Google Sheet workflow. Its entire job is just to keep the data in 2 different systems consistent. That's it. The second tribe, these are the orchestrators. Now, these are the more complex, multi-step workflows that manage the entire life cycle of something. The perfect example is that joiner, mover, leaver process for employees. It's not just moving data from A to B, it's managing a whole journey over time. The third tribe, the synthesizers, is where AI really starts to get into the mix. These workflows don't just move data around, they actually transform or analyze it. Think about a workflow that takes a recording of a Zoom meeting, transcribes the whole thing, and then uses an LLM to pull out the key decisions and all the action items. That's a synthesizer. And the fourth tribe, these are the specialists. These are those autonomous AI agents we were just talking about. They get assigned a professional role, like recruiter, and a really high-level goal, like find and screen qualified candidates for this job opening. And then they just go and use their tools and reasoning to get the job done. And finally, the fifth tribe, the concierge. Think of these as the friendly, chat-based front door that makes automation accessible to everybody. So instead of having to build a workflow, you just ask for what you need in plain English. You know, like telling an IT help desk bot, hey, I need to reset my password, and it kicks off the right process for you. So where is all of this headed? Is it the train or the self-driving car that wins? Well, the most important trend isn't really about one world beating the other. It's about how these two worlds are starting to merge and converge. The single biggest trend that's shaping the future of all this is what we call human-in-the-loop design. As these tools get more and more powerful and more autonomous, we're seeing this very conscious effort to build in checkpoints for a human to give oversight and approval. The goal isn't to create autopilots. It's to build incredibly powerful co-pilots that help us do our jobs better. And there's this one quote from the analysis that just perfectly captures where we are right now with trust in AI. It says, "Draft is the new send." Think about it. The most popular AI-powered email automations, they don't actually send the email. They write a fantastic, high-quality response, and then they save it to the drafts folder for you to review and click send. Draft really is the new send. It's automation with a safety rail. And all of this leaves us with a final, really fascinating question to think about. We are moving from a world where we write the rules for our software to a world where we just give it a goal. So what happens when our automated workflows don't just follow our rules, but actually start making their own decisions to get the job done? The answer to that question is going to define the next decade of digital work.